This video is about resonators that I believe are worth taking to S1 or S2. I know if you're playing on a budget, you have to be really picky and choosy about whether you're going to spend your astrites on or your cash, or if you're free to play, then even more so. However, this is going to be like something that I think will give you a boost, make the game a little easier, even more fun. So with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and jump into it. Alright, so our first resonator, and this is going to be mainly the ones where you're going to get more damage. So we're going to start off with the S1 or S2 that will give you more damage with that particular resonator. And Camellya is one of my first because I really like Camellya. She's one of my favorites. And I think S2 is really worth it, but that's only because I like big numbers. I like big damage numbers. So the damage multiplier of resonance skill ephemeral is increased by 120%. And I'm gonna tell you, man, it does a lot of damage, and it's really cool to see it when you get that off. When you get all of the boosts and you get everything and it lines up with this 120% boost, I mean, she just wipes them out. So big ups for Camellya, one of my favorites. A little biased, but anyway, I think it's great, guys. All right, so next, let's go to Carlotta. So Carlotta, her S2 is the same thing. Not the same as far as what it does, but it's the same as far as it gives her more damage. And the thing about Carlotta, I'm just going to be honest with you, if you got a decent build and you have a SIG weapon, she already is doing crazy damage. But I mean, once you look at this, the fatal finale is increased by 126%. I mean, it's just going to be like some huge numbers, man. She's just going to just mow through some of your enemies, some of the content that's out there. So she's going to make it like even so much easier. So yeah, I think S2 is really good for Carlotta. Not a necessity at all. None of these are necessities, but I think it's really cool to get. So next, let's talk about Phoebe. Phoebe is kind of on the fence between a boost for damage and a boost for utility. So S1 for Phoebe, I think, was really good. When in Absolution, Resonance Liberation, Dawn of Enlightenment now increased the damage multiplier by 480% instead of 255%. So this is a big boost for her damage, but this is when you're using her pretty much as your main DPS. I use it as a sub DPS for Zani. So for me, when in Confession, Resonance Liberation, Dawn of Enlightenment increases damage multiplier by 90% and applies Spectral Frazzle to the target with the maximum stat the target can receive. So this kind of helps because she puts the Spectral Frazzle on the opponent, the enemy, and Zani basically just takes that Spectral Frazzle and converts it into her second forte. So it really helps out. I think it's good. Not a necessity, but that's kind of like the way it is. None of them are really going to be necessities. You can play every resonator at S0, but this is a really good boost for her. I think it helps her damage and also helps her utility when playing as a sub DPS for Zani. Now we're going to get more into the utility side. Phoebe was kind of the start of the utility. She's kind of hanging in the middle, depending on how you play her and use her. But now we've got Roccia. Roccia, I play with Camellya a lot, and I really like her rotations, and I really like her style. I mean, she's really good. Probably one of the best sub DPS in the game. So casting Resonance Skill Acrobatic Trick grants 100 additional imagination and 10 Concerto energy. And she's immune to interruptions when casting Basic Attack Real Fantasy. So if you don't know, this basically is a forte gauge. When you have it filled and you activate her Resonance Skill, she has 3 hits that she jumps with her suitcase from the top of the whirlwind. So what this does, you don't have to fill the forte gauge all the way up to 100%. You can go 2/3 of the way, and when you cast your Resonance Skill, you're going to get that extra 100 because you can only hold 300. So this makes it really easy to go ahead and get the Resonance Skill out there and get the full damage from the Real Fantasy, and also builds her Concerto energy. Her rotation is like you just do the Resonance Skill, Real Fantasy, and cast Liberation, and she's ready to bring in Camellya with her outro. So yeah, this is really good for her. I think it's a real plus, and it just makes the team even stronger and the rotations even better. Now we've got Changli. So Changli, her S2 is inflaming increases Changli's crit rate by 25% for 8 seconds. And if you don't know, she can hold 4 inflaming, which is basically her forte. So you can get a 25% boost, and this makes it really easy to get closer to, well, I won't say easy because it depends on what her crit rate is. But when you have like something like a S2 that really helps out in the crit rate, it allows you to go a lot easier on the echo rolls and the substats. And that's why I love this for her, because you want to get those echo rolls, you get that double crit, but you just happen to get that 6.3 for the crit rate. I mean, it's frustrating sometimes because you know you could get a higher roll, and if you get like 4 echoes with that 6.3, it's really like, you know, you got to throw one of them back and try to get a little better, a couple of them at least. But this gives you a little more leeway with your echoes, lessens your echo grind, and it really makes a damage, a crit rate get up to 100%. If you got a decent build, you can hit 100% easy, I believe, with this. So S2 for Changli, because she's so useful in different teams. I think she's worth the investment because it just makes her so much stronger. And if you don't have like the fusion teams where she's getting that boost from Brant or Lupa, this helps her out to get a little bit more damage, especially if you got a crit damage up, and if you have a SIG also. So I like this for Changli. And last but not least is Brant. Brant has one of the most useful S1s out there. I think it's great that the devs are starting to make S1s and S2s actually worthwhile, because it's just so difficult to take a 5-star character, a 5-star Resonator to S6 these days, unless you're really just spending like a madman. So Return from Ashes temporarily causes nearby targets to stagnate when casting. And this is just perfect for him because his Resonance skill is his main key for giving damage to anybody and the entire field. However, the thing is, if you don't have this and you're playing like the Tempest, Memphis Tempest, and it's just moving all over the place, teleporting left and right, you can easily just hit absolutely nothing. So if you have like a lot of enemy on the field, it works great. But if you're playing that one that moves a lot, this just go ahead and just evens the playing field. Because once you just touch them and you hit the Resonance skill, they're gonna stand there until this hits. And you're gonna get all the damage for this. And Brant's just a great sub DPS, and he can even be the main DPS. He does so much damage with his Resonance skill. So, I mean, he's probably one of the best out there. Him and Roccia, he's probably better than Roccia, especially if you can get his ER to 280%. I think he's going to be the best sub DPS, but that 280 is hard to get. I do have it, so this really works for me, and it works very well for me. So with that being said, guys, did I miss anyone? Tell me what you think. Tell me if you think any of these guys are really worth S1 or S2. Tell me if any of them are the ones you actually play with. There's no reason to take it to S1 or S2 if you don't play with them. So let me know what you think, guys. Hey, thank you, guys. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe. I need all the support I can get. Hey, love you all. Thank you.